All right, we on. Okay. Let me give a hand clap. There we go. That's for me. That's not for y'all. That's for me. I'm glad because, we kind of came in with a somber mood when we first got in. I'm like tired. It's been a long ass week and shit like that. And been ripping and running. You said that, you had some things going.
Yeah.
And I've talked to you, so you got some things going.
Yeah.
So it's like, at the end, and that's whatever you want to share. I just why I said things. So it's up to you. But, yeah, man, it's just been a little run. I'm not going to sit up here and try to give y'all something that's more than what it need to be. We've been giving y'all, I think 3-4 weeks in a row, 3-hour pods. I mean, not 3-hour pods. I'm tripping. 2-hour pods, hour and 55, hour and 45. And in my mind, I'm like, we only going to do like an hour and 20.
Yeah.
But conversation is taking us there. But today, I don't know. We'll just see what flows, right?
We got a good 45.
Yeah, maybe an hour and 15. Who knows, man? Like that back in the old days.
Yeah.
Lex is still on sabbatical.
Just the
haven't talked to him. He's doing his thing. I've seen that he's been posting on Instagram and such. So, sometimes you just need time like that. Sometimes I'll be wanting time like that. I'm jealous.
Call me, Lex. Text me. Enough time.
There you go.
hit me.
Enough is enough.
Enough is enough.
He ain't gonna listen to this. He don't even listen to ones he do.
Somebody go tell Lex to hit up Juicy J.
He said, I'll wait for the clips.
On the behalf of me.
I still love him. I ain't got no problems. You know what I mean? It is what it is. My man got to take a sabbatical, and I ain't mad at it.
Not at all. But I do miss him.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've had weeks like that where I'll be like, look, man, we probably just, when I've canceled pods, I'll be like, I just want to spend my Sundays at home.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
So there's nothing wrong with that at all. Yeah.
That was good. Okay.
Yeah.
I enjoyed all of that.
Listen. We're going to have a little bit of fun now.
DJ Normal Ass Carl in the mix.
Listen. Yes. I want to welcome you all to the You Wasn't Outside podcast on the Grown Folks Podcast Network. I'm one of your hosts, not doing the most, Normal Ass Carl. To my front, I have the one, the only. You know the deal when she's wearing teal. Oh, yeah. They asked me if I freestyle these. Of course I do. The greatest, the one, the only, Miss Juicy J.
Hey. You know what?
Shut the fuck up!
Tell them what you accused me of wearing when I walked in here.
I gotta get it. That's the button he normally presses. It's in my brain now. You've been here for many of episodes, so I'm like, what buttons he be pressing for her?
I love it.
I thought you had a moo-moo. When you came in, I said, why she come in here like with the 90s auntie moo-moo on right now, and all she needs is a head wrap and a cigarette and 2 kids that she's tired of all day, and they need to go outside.
And I told him, someone posted a meme about like moo-moos, and now there's like a trend going around where all the guys are wearing like the girls' muumuus.
It's weird. We wearing bell bottoms too.
And well, they just tried them on because they're like, why you guys wear these? And then they were like, ooh, they're comfy.
Right.
And so
we know what Auntie had it.
I wore one to the club in my 20s, but I belted it.
Yeah.
I paired it with some heels, and it was cute.
I ain't mad at it. I
might wear moo.
You might get. Well, I ain't gonna judge you on that. I'm just gonna get my friendly jokes off because it's like, there she go. I ain't mad at it. The way fashion is set up these days too, man. There's a lot of things I'd be like, I can see why like. My dad is always kind of wearing like Nike, outfits and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But he won't dress like he wears sporting outfits. But I can't wear what these young kids is wearing now.
Like what?
Like the bell bottom pants, like what Kendrick had on. Yeah,
those are fly.
It's fly, but
I would love to see you in
you gotta
some
be an
bell
entertainer. I don't. Me and Kendrick got 2 different body types. He about 5'5", 140, soaking wet. You know what I mean?
I'm really trying to see you in some bell bottoms.
Them pants is for 220 and below. that ain't in my weight class. That and like what I can't do is I see when you say that, the first thing I think of like real self-conscious is like sitting down and my ass crack being out.
Oh my goodness.
You know what I mean? I would be out here.
Plumber.
Yeah, they gonna bring it back. They gonna bring back them bell bottoms, leather vests can come back with the white tank underneath on some real like. You know what? You gonna be mad at me.
I am. I can tell.
You gonna be mad because I thought about it right when I said leather vest, and I was like, I went on Instagram. Let me say this: what somebody was telling me, and I gotta verify, is that the victims get money from this, right? And I was like, somebody said, yo, TP2 was one of the greatest albums. And I had to go. I hadn't listened to an R. Kelly album in like 6 years, 7 years, whatever, however long.
You listened to one recently?
I did. I listened to TP2 on Apple Music.
Oh, you paid him?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, right?
Put money in his pocket.
I think the victims get money, though.
Oh, that's what you were saying.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think that when you and I have to confirm it.
Yeah, YouTube.
Right? But someone I had heard.
Check.
But that's the thing. Even my wife was like, I don't care who get money. She's like, I feel bad for them. She's like, but I won't support listening to his music. And when I played it, I couldn't play it in the car.
Yeah.
I played it in my headphones at the gym one time through, and I was like, damn.
No lie, it was bumping, huh?
I was like, yo, why he fuck up? I haven't gone back. I didn't hit one song on repeat. He got 85 cents out of me. Yeah. But I was like, yo, how the fuck you fuck up these classics with your behavior?
I know.
And that album wasn't nasty.
Yeah.
Like, there wasn't like, like 12, like the first 12 play. It wasn't like nothing crazy like that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, there was some joints on here.
Yeah.
Like, there was a song where he was talking to I Wish.
Do you not understand? That's probably, no lie, especially the remix.
Yes.
My number one favorite song.
And that you can't play.
I can't.
And it was like, yo, like the one he was talking to his mom, a friend that passed away, and I was like, yo, I'm going through all these emotions right now in my life right now. And I was like, yo, the most time that a song like this is applicable to me, it's like I can't even fully support it because that shit's on there.
Yeah.
I mean, because of his behavior, my fault.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or I believe I can fly. You know what I mean? Like the kids are always going to hear it somewhere.
No, yeah.
My stepson brought it up. He's like, yo, you ever heard I Believe I Can Fly? I was like, hey. So
yeah, I was on Spotify listening and to like a random playlist, and one of those kind of songs came up. I can't remember which one. It might have been I Believe I Can Fly, one of his OGs. And, I normally skip it, block it, and I let it ride out for a few seconds. I'm not going to lie. And I was at the laundromat, and I was like, it pains.
He's like, God damn, man.
He was my favorite. He was like my mom and dad's favorite. My parents were really young, so like that was like what I grew up listening to. And I listened to it for maybe 15, 30 seconds, and I was like thinking what you were thinking when you heard the album. I was just like, damn, but I could not enjoy it. Because I'm a very intrusive thought person.
Right, you like,
so
yo.
I was literally imagining.
Like, who do you have hostage in the studio when he made?
Literally, SVU scenes in my mind.
Yeah.
Like, honestly.
Yeah, absolutely.
So.
And I feel you. I'm right there with you. Jay, how you been?
Oh, man. Skip.
Whatever you willing to share. If not, hey, we can skip it.
Yeah, I'm not willing to share.
I ain't mad at it.
But it's only because, man, I've gotten a lot of heat when I be really keeping it real. And I'm just not ready to deal with that yet.
You got, from the pod?
No, just from the general public. Whenever I when I've shared some real raw things that I'm going through. And, the comment section on my YouTube videos, the DMs I get, the messages I get.
Of concern?
Of concern, but also audacity, judgment, and then the treatment I've gotten. People treat me differently. People have lost respect for me. I've had relationships dissolve, and so I think I'm just more protective of
your thoughts and how you feeling,
and what my circumstances and what I'm going through,
right?
And keeping that more to myself until things are more settled.
That's great. It's ironic that you say that. I'm trying to say that's funny because it ain't funny, right?
Yeah,
I'm not start saying funny as in ironic, but I'm gonna just say it's ironic that you say that because I be thinking the online community, man. Long story less long, like I've had some family stuff that's been going on for a few months now. And I went to a specific place, and the lady was kind of treating me like shit. And I'm like, yo, the people that be dealing with this type of stuff, and families and stuff, the way your behavior is right now is crazy. But my point in saying that was this lady don't know that at any moment's notice, I'm liable to go the fuck off.
Yeah, I'm to crash out.
Right.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, and the crazy part is that what you're talking about is the online community, they be quick to give you comments, but in real life they don't be saying that shit. That's what my point was. It's like, yo, it's crazy how bold people get, these keyboard warriors, in regards to talking shit about people or having comments and shit that they wouldn't have the audacity to say to you in your face.
Exactly. And then they're in my face. I'm like, oh, hey, remember 2 years ago when you said that to me when I was going through that thing? Or I heard it through the grapevine that you were making these judgments against me, or, and so I think that, it's just a slippery slope. But I did have someone recently where I had to disclose more private information, and they asked me, they were like, they were, I don't know what they were, but they were like, I guess maybe surprised when I had explained like my different circumstances that I had been facing, I'm currently facing. And they were like, but you're on the podcast, you're doing the podcast, and you're in the community, and, you're doing this, you're doing that, you're connected with these different...
We do those things to get away.
Exactly. And I was like, oh yeah. I was like, it's interesting how people can really be going through something hard and even what they might consider like shameful or difficult or like an adversity, and still mask when they're out, or exactly do things that bring them joy, and so I was like, I know it's confusing to hear like, this is what I've been going through, this is my circumstance, when what you see of me being presented can seem completely, what's the word I'm looking for? Like not parallel, like completely...
Like masked or...
Yeah, just, it's like you're going through this, but you don't appear to be while you're doing all these things,
Right.
And so I think that's why sometimes it's hard for people to understand or to believe different people when they're going through things, because they're like, oh, but you never said anything, or, you don't seem to be depressed, or you don't seem to be struggling, or you don't seem to be someone that would deal with this.
But you don't want to be a burden to nobody, too.
Well, yeah, exactly that.
Like emotionally, like
yeah,
burden.
Emotionally, anyway.
So it's like, I don't seem that way because I'm not trying to seem that way.
Exactly. I'm trying to keep it pushing. You know what I mean? And I think, like I said, in the past, I've been more vulnerable.
Yeah.
And it wasn't always the most positive for my mental health. And so that's why I'm like, well, this time I'm not trying to be like a fake or, I don't know.
As long as you got somebody to talk to, though, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's important, that you can level with. See, like I said, we talked about this a little bit like off mic. We've been talking a lot more lately just in terms of like updates and stuff like that, and like, who's going to be coming in and out, while he's on sabbatical.
I wanted to ask what he thought of the pod, what he thought of me, of our conversation.
He didn't say anything like per se. Like he enjoyed. He
not
said
noteworthy, huh?
No. What I'm saying, because here's the thing. He said something I'm glad you said that. He had said something where I was like, yo, that was probably like, me and Cease have been friends now for damn near 10 years, right? And I remember when I could say, oh, we've only been friends for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. Mm-hmm. Now you've been at my wedding, now I've met, your family. I met his brother and stuff like that. We've gone to LA. Like, there's so many experiences that we have had together. We've gone to LA, going to watch baseball games and shit.
Yeah.
To where, like, a lot of those things occurred. When we were done potting, or towards the tail end of like that, right? Or before like podcasting became a big thing. I really respected the fact that he said like, yo, like you can get caught up so much in the podcast realm and forget to be a friend.
That was so real.
That was the realest thing where I was like, yo, he's right. Like y'all can come in here at any moment and like our conversation is, I'm gonna be here at that time. I'm gonna be here at that time. All right, I'll see y'all then. We're gonna be here next week or whatever. We talk about what we talk about for an hour and don't overshare because we have other people that are listening and judging us so that we not really getting our shit off.
Yeah, exactly.
And I was like, yo, like me, him, and Star operated like that for about 2 years. You know what I mean? And that's why when he was talking and he was like, I don't think she would, really consider you a friend like that. She didn't hit me up outside the pot. And neither did I. I was in a full-blown relationship, just bought a house or whatever, and we didn't have like interests. He's right. But I wasn't mad about that. I always understood that to be true, like without saying it.
Yeah.
Like there is no part, like I didn't hit her up and like after he passed him saying that, I didn't think about it after because again, it's like that's not part of our normal routine. We wouldn't click like that. We're not from the same region. But my whole point in saying all that is to say is like you just never know. We could be sitting here talking for a couple hours a week and people assume that like, yo, like the way we talk and everything like that, like everything is just beautiful in our lives individually. Yeah. Where you've disclosed some things over the last 6 months that would rock anybody.
Yeah.
he's disclosed some things that have gone on in the last couple years in his life that will rock anybody.
Yeah.
Right? I understand that,
and
right?
You've also had your
grandmother passed. I've had some shit come up, you know what I mean? And like, in the back of there's a lot of people's minds is that I don't advertise things like you said, the same reason, but I do make sure, because as somebody who works with mental health professionals and stuff like that all the time, and I deal with people with mental health struggles all the time, I do make sure that there's somebody that I get my shit off with. So I call my best friend at least 2 or 3 times a week, and we just share and vent shit out.
Yeah.
I don't try to solve his shit. He don't really try to solve my shit.
Yeah.
You know, I check in on him or whatever. He has some shit happen this week, and I just make sure I have somebody to talk to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then I just feel better.
Yeah. No, it's vital. And it's so ironic that you're saying that, because my sermon in church this morning was all about that. It was like the 3 points were: who can you run to, who can you count on, and like who can, you know, like who, basically like who's that one person that can like hold you accountable.
Right.
And it was all about like saying how we can't do things alone, and you don't need a bunch of people. You just need a few solid people that you can really get your shit off to and unload, and they can uplift you when you're feeling down and encourage you and remind you, and then also have the hard conversations, and you have to be open to receive that, you know, and not have just appeasing people around you. It was like, again, talking about how love is an action word. And, you know, he was like, don't just believe when people say they love you, like see for yourself and how they act and how they actually show up for you, you know? And so I think it is important. And, you know, when I hear like the dynamic of like you and Star, which is, you know, like it worked for you guys, like that's not a dynamic I'm ever interested in having with me and you.
Right,
like,
right.
You know,
well, I mean, we cool before then, though.
Yes, exactly. But I think that like it takes work, because, you know, we're busy and we have different things going on. But I think that like, I think that the difference is like you said, we already had a connection, and as we've been potting, our own friendship has been developing as well.
Yeah,
and
I called you just in case I need some housework and somebody to house sit for me.
Okay,
So I was like, yeah, we're all gonna be gone.
And we're not real friends.
That's what I'm saying.
You know, and even though like, you know, just the last few weeks and just the last few months of like the things that I've been going through, like, you know, just calling you and seeking counsel or just getting whatever I need to get off. And as we've been going the last few weeks, you know, just being able to confide in one another, you know. And so I hope that like we have a good balance. And I think everything like Cecil's conversation, just everything that's going on, it's good for us to remember like to find that, so we don't find ourselves just being like hey, how's it going, you know. I feel like that's going to strengthen the pod even more, you know.
And that, you know what's funny, when you said that, I thought about this today, because like another woman that I know, she ended up calling me in regards to like just need some help. Like she was at an auto dealership. And she was like, oh, and I was sitting here thinking, I was like, yo, like I gotta be the only guy I know besides maybe 1 or 2 others
that gets calls from other women.
That get called from other women, and my wife don't
and
be
your
tripping.
Wife's okay. You know what? I never even thought about that.
I was like, shout out to my wife for that.
We probably talked on the phone like twice this week.
Yeah.
And I don't even think wife.
But that one, I talked to maybe, like I said, her and then another girl from work. And she like, but my wife said this, and I was like, yo, this is a lot of growth from both of us.
Yeah.
Because like the job that I do, I have to explain like how we got to that point months in advance. Mm-hmm. What's going on with the government, what's going on with the laws and stuff, and then what they do, what we're doing internally when we do shit that like, it's a language that like I can call, you know, one of them and be like, hey man, this is bullshit or whatever. And I can get my shit off. My wife was like, she's like, yeah, you would have to explain shit to me beforehand. She was like, but you know, generally I'll tell her if shit got like really crazy or bad or whatever.
Yeah.
But like the normal day-to-day stressors, like when you have a work buddy or whatever. Yeah. Like I was like, yeah, that person is the only one to understand. And my wife be there. I be having it on speakerphone when I get my shit off or whatever. But she be listening, and my wife also knows the girl. So it's like, I'll reference my wife like when we're talking and shit like that, but it's just the base understanding that we got. I was like, I'm lucky, because like I got people that I know that, you know, hit me up this week too. Like one of my mans hit me and was like, yo, like I was taking a bath with a loofah. and he's light skinned, and his back got like red marks on it. And she was like, yo, who you been messing with? And he's like, I've been having, like, as we've gotten older, you know, different things come up. Shit be, you know, aching and shit like that a little bit more than what it used to. And he was like, yo, I've been having skin issues lately. He wouldn't lie to me.
Yeah.
Like he would tell me
he
the
was
truth.
Keeping
like,
it real.
Yeah, he would
but
like,
it looked sus to his girl.
Oh, but then, and he was like, yo, it's like, it sucks to get accused of some shit, right? And he's like, this ain't the first time. He's like, it sucks to get accused of some shit, and I ain't even do nothing. So he was like, soon as the red marks went away, like 10 hours later, he's like, yo, if they were scratches, they still be here. You know, you gotta prove your point.
They would have turned into scabs.
It's real nasty though, because she's like, oh, they were just red marks then from. I was like, yo, either you dying on this hill, miss, you gotta let that go. He pulled the shirt off.
Yeah. Look, what do you see? What do you see?
But you know, like I am thankful for in that regard, though. You know.
Yeah, it's important to have like a spouse that you can. That's supportive and understanding and supports like other outside relationships, as long as those relationships are also like appropriate and being respectful. And I think like even, you know, I've always tried to show Adele, I like to call her wifey, like respect, because I know like it is, you know, another like woman sharing a lot of space and time and conversation. And so I always like want her to know like I appreciate her, I respect her, and I like, you know, I appreciate that she is like, you know, supportive of our friendship, and that she knows that I just ultimately respect that boundary. Right. You know what I mean? But it takes that, like, as women, we have to, I feel like that's important. Like, especially if you're going to have friendships or relationships or acquaintanceships with, like, men, like, and they're in relationships and vice versa, I think there is, like, a level of respect that you need to make sure that you're showing their significant others, so that way they can also feel, like, reassured and comfortable with you as well, and not, like, think that you have ulterior motives or just that you're going to be inappropriate or whatever it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a big thing, man. I mean, like I said, it took a while for us to get here.
Yeah, it takes maturity, right?
Yeah. And you know what, though? I can't even say that because my dad ain't going for that shit. You know what I mean? Like, my mom, like a guy asked me.
Your mom had me cracking
They crazy, man.
I love them.
They don't give a fuck who y'all are. Like, they gonna argue in front of y'all. They don't care.
When you left, your dad, they were getting food and they were like, they overheard I was hungry. They're so sweet. They're like, do you want something? I was like, okay. Yeah, no, it's okay. And your dad was like, come on. And I was like, okay, I want this. And then I was like, should I call Carl and see like if he wants something? He was like, I don't give a fuck. He was like, if you want. I was like, oh, you snooze, you lose? Okay.
Dude is funny. I told my mom, he don't listen to the pod, so I told my mom not to like say anything.
Mom be listening though.
Yeah, but I told her this, and I said, don't bring it up to her, so I can tell you the story because the shit was funny. So, bro, we go out to eat at the golf course yesterday.
Okay.
He ordered a sandwich. That shit was like $12, right?
Okay.
And then he got a beer, right? Beer's like $8, so that's $20.
Okay.
And then we got my mom something to go because she was at the house, right? So we got her some chicken wings and some other shit. That shit probably about $35.
Okay.
He slid me a 20 and was like, he's like, yeah, that should take care of me and her. I looked at that bill, right? I said, that shit is double of what I normally pay. I was like, ain't no way that. I said, but you know what? Y'all gave me life. I'm happy I'm in a position where this don't even bother me or whatever. Like, go ahead and it just, you know, it's cool. So I told her today, she's like, you know how you get. And I was like, that shit would have took care of him had, like, you know, you didn't have food. But I was like, again, I ain't gonna trip on that, man.
No.
But that shit's just funny. That just tells you, like how he is now, and it's got worse as he's got older in terms of, like, just because he don't give a fuck. Because you've been through so much in life with people and shit like that. You just go tell people where you at that moment at that time. So the shit funny because I'm like, yo, I'm going to be there one day too.
Yeah. Oh.
The shit we going through that we talking about right now is why old people are the way they are.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I feel like they've kind of like gained that grace. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, what are you going to do?
Ultimate respect at that point.
Exactly.
I'm like, yo, the fact that you made it to 65, 70 or whatever, 80, however old somebody is like, yo, man, blessings to you because you've been dealing with, you've seen a lot of bullshit over time.
Blessings upon blessings on you.
Absolutely. I'm going to save what I was going to talk about in terms of how I've been doing, man.
I was going to say, yeah, man, come on.
Shit,
get a little off.
These motherfuckers at work, man. I start weighing out. There was some shit that, like I said, there was some shit that transpired in the last 6 months that I should have been going for. and that like legally I can be going for.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna take some time.
You were telling me that.
Yeah, I'm gonna take some time.
Yeah,
you know
I'm glad
that
you're taking that time.
And I don't even need to bring it up here because like the people the people that need to know, I've already called them and they've known about this for months.
Okay.
Where I was like, you know what, I'm gonna take some time, and get some things in order at home. So that like just when I say home, that's like a general. It's not just like my house, but just get things in order at home, man, so that I can just be prepared. Because they got some shit going on, and right now I'm like, I feel like I'm in the middle of it, and I've been in the middle of it for about a year and a half now, and I'm like, yo, for me to make it this long, given the amount of changes that we had, and I told all parties, I was like, look, man, this is more than fair. You know what I mean? Like I gave y'all when y'all needed me. Right now, y'all don't need me.
Yeah,
I ain't got no workers underneath me. I got like 1 or 2 workers underneath me, and I've been helping out with other places. But I'm like, oh, now that I've been helping out, it's like. How much do I want to share that? Now I've been helping. I'm like, this is a good time for me to pause.
The timing seems like would be the most best for them as well. Yeah. So.
And looking back too, right? We was talking about work last week, and I was like, yo, like 11 years somewhere. It's as long as I've ever been. The longest I have ever kept a job before was probably 2 years max. Yeah. This is the longest running I've ever had a job. Yeah. And I was like, yo, 11 years somewhere. And then I look back, I think I took a week. The most I've ever taken off was a week, and that was either for my teeth or when we went on a vacation where I ripped and run it.
You didn't take time off when your daughter was born?
I took a week.
Wow.
Because at that time, right, like that looks like something like, I look at it like this, right? Like I could be looked at as, oh man, that's a bad choice. Why he didn't use his leave?
I wasn't like.
Oh, not you. Okay. Someone else listening, right? Because it's like. We were living here at the time when my daughter was born.
But you guys were saving for your house, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But had I taken off of work, I don't get overtime. So like I get my regular base pay, but like y'all know it's expensive out here. That's why I be saying like I be probably talking crazy, but what I had to do to get to what I needed, like there was a lot of sacrifice.
There was.
Like, school, I missed, holidays and shit like that when I was in school, like Christmases and Thanksgiving and all that. When I was when the whole thing, when she was born and everything, I was working Saturdays for like 6 months straight, and I worked at another place, like while I was doing both. Wow. So like, and I worked with that one was like a little tougher because like the second place that I was working at, I could say that I was working with people that was on their way out.
I never knew that.
Yeah, I don't like telling people that because like I felt weird gaining money off of people that was passing soon. You know what I mean? Like a lady told me one day I was out, I was out on one weekend and I did like a little visit to go see her or whatever, and I could just tell she was from a different time. She's like, "Oh, you black as a boot." Oh. And I said, yo, the shit I'm doing right now for extra cash is crazy. Like, I'd rather strip, like, do feet pics. For real, I'd do some feet pics real quick and shade these knuckles.
Not shave the toe knuckles.
I would shade these fucking knuckles, man. So, like with that being said, like now, I felt weird 4 years ago enjoying this shit.
Why?
Because it was like, yo, like you said, like I've always, like when we get so caught up in work.
Yeah.
That I felt weird, like last year was probably the first year I didn't work no overtime. Mm-hmm. Like all last year was the first time I went a whole year without working OT, except for maybe twice, right? And I was like, yo, that shit crazy. Like I took my base pay the whole year, and I was like, I don't feel bad about it. Yeah. Like I was missing baseball games the first year when Chris first started playing, and I was like, yo, like he's not really, he's my stepson, right? But he's not my son or whatever, so it's like, I'm okay. He has a dad. Mm-hmm. But I was like, I'd be damned if I miss any of my daughter's shit. Mm-hmm, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So like, to your point, my daughter won her first tournament.
Yeah.
And she won by considerable fashion. She beat a girl by 8 strokes. I knew she was going to win on the 7th hole. She asked me, yo, how am I doing right now? And her math ain't that great yet,
She's
in
little.
kindergarten. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It ain't that great yet. But to that point of her being little, and I know that like, her age group, they be, oh, squirrel, and she was doing that. I'm like, yo, that's cool. I was like, but like you about to like be at the point of no return. So I was like, you down 1. She was up. She was up like an 8.
I know.
I was like, you down 1. Get locked in. It didn't matter because she still finished the same way as if she was bullshit. I was like, she's probably just physically exhausted. And we played, yesterday on a bigger course, so I just know, and they be looking tired.
There's 3 in here.
3 what? No, don't worry about it. Just put it on the thing. I'll give it to her.
Thank you.
But yeah,
Appreciate you. Thank you.
So I was just like, yeah, I was like, let me just lie to her. So anyway, all right.
Keep her motivated.
Yeah, keep her motivated. And it worked for like she tried. It was just physically she was done. Like it was like my body can't do it anymore. And I wasn't even mad at that. I was mad, but then I was like, you know what? Let me get that. You
remember she's a 6-year-old little girl?
Yeah, I started acting like the Asian dads out there. I'm gonna say it. That's not a stereotype. I'm 4 tournaments in. I was saying it before because I thought it was a joke. Hey, my mom was telling me that one of them dudes, like the kid, they was supposed to take a photo together. Dude just grabbed his son and left because he didn't win.
They're not playing.
They're not playing.
They're raising champions.
Yeah, lady was like, oh, he works 3 hours a day. Like, he worked 3 hours a day on the wrong shit.
Yep.
I was like, because if he's putting 30 hours in and this is the best result, my daughter only worked 3 days a week because I don't want to burn her out, and she's scoring better scores than y'all. You working on the wrong shit, you know?
Might need a new coach.
Yeah, like we just started early. That's all, and we've been working on the right shit.
Yeah,
because people are like, oh, she's good. Yeah, she's good because I coach her.
Yeah.
There's gonna become a time where I can't.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's something where I think we all know we can only take certain things so far.
Yeah, absolutely. Shows to watch.
Oh, let's do it.
All right, that's what I said. Like, I knew we was going to get heavy on the intro and shit, and we making great time with just me and you.
Okay.
So I was like, yo, we going to have some fun today.
Yeah, no, we're ready.
So before I got on, or before we got on the mic, I asked Jay, I said, yo, did you watch the new Love is Blind? She said, I'm watching it right now. I said, where are you at? Because this is critical.
Yeah.
Right? Because I want to get this shit out now as it's the weekend of the release. She said, oh, I'm up where Devin and old girl. I said, perfect. I was like, because I could spoil something and you could be like, all right, cool. Because the first 3 was the one that I was like, the second one, I was like, yeah, the second one, and I'm going in order of how they happen. Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Hit skip.
If you have not seen the wedding episode.
Do about 8 minutes on the skip or whatever because we're going to run into it. But I was like, yo, like, you got to watch that part.
Yeah. Them at the altar.
The first couple and the third couple, I thought for sure we're going to get married.
Who was the first one again?
The first one was I swear. Okay, I might be wrong. The one with the sister,
the hater sister.
Yes, and the dude with the long hair.
No, that wasn't the first one.
They were the second one.
Yeah, that was the second one.
Second and third, I thought were shoe-ins. I thought we was gonna get 50%. Like married rate, because it's usually like that. You normally get 2 that say yes.
The first one was Sarah and Ben.
Yes, I knew they weren't gonna make it.
Yeah.
She scares me.
No, I like her. She's down.
Do you? You know what, though? I can see y'all going out to a bar and having a great time.
Yeah, she and I looked on the Shade Room or something, and they were asking how did everyone feel about Sarah's reasoning for calling it quits with Ben.
What'd they say?
And dude, I was scared. No, everybody was like, no, she was right. She's.
You said the Shade Room?
Yeah.
I know the audience.
One of those.
I was about to say, if you said it, they all black.
Maybe culture, but it was one of those, one of the more urban, Instagram news sharing outlets. But no, they were all in support of her, as am I. I'm someone who's strongly convicted in certain things that I believe in. And I've tried to date men where, I'm like, oh, it's okay. But no, I need that alignment. And so everybody was like, she's 10 toes down.
My only problem.
What?
Go ahead, though.
No, that's it.
My only problem is that he's a white dude from Minnesota, maybe not the most populous area.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like he wasn't willing to grow.
And but that's the thing. She even said that. She was like, I asked him what were the values of his church, and he couldn't really say. And I went to a service. I listened to one online.
I want them to show us these things too. And
even they did. They showed her at the church.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
I must have missed that.
Okay, yeah. She was sitting there. You could tell she looked a little uncomfortable, but she sat through it.
All white people in there.
Yeah,
I must have missed that one.
And then even before she went to one in person, they showed her watching a sermon
online
on her laptop. Yeah, and so, she was like, even when I asked Ben, how he felt about, these things, BLM and, the certain incidents that happen within our city, she was like, he didn't have a strong point of view. She was like, it's one thing to say, I'm not sure, or, I'm inexperienced. She was like, but when I was giving him the opportunity to, really tell me how he felt about these issues. She was like, he shied away from it. She was like, he also wasn't as interested in how my mind works and like how I think. And
that's valid.
And
I
that's
take that.
huge
I
for
take
me.
that. Yes.
Because I've had a lot of men who like me for the laughs, the giggles, but when it's like, you know, I'm a pretty serious person.
Right, when the real shit happens.
You know, they're not really interested, you know, and that's something that was in my marriage, that, you know, that he wasn't really interested in hearing my perspective and point of view and things like that.
Have you been that person though?
What do you mean?
Not interested in someone's perspective or point of view that you were dating? Because I think what we're talking about is chemistry. Go ahead, keep going.
Like
though.
on certain subjects?
Yes.
I think I've found myself in positions like on dates or after dating, you know.
But you won't let it go any further than...
Exactly, because I'm like, oh.
Men will.
I
for
know.
the sake of ass.
No, how do you think I ended up getting married?
For the sake of ass, men would do that.
And
that's
so
crazy.
I think but that's why I think we give her kudos, because normally as women, because everything else is like lining up and we love them and they love us and they're making us feel good, we're like, oh, I can go without that. And you know, I do believe that you should not be seeking everything from your partner. That's why it's so important to have good friends around you, a good counsel, because you can't expect your partner to be your number one support system.
Right.
But it is key to be in alignment on certain things. And when you can't get there, you know, you can't force that. You know, you can't force belief systems upon each other.
That's very
hard.
hard.
And those things are pretty imperative in a marriage.
Yeah. No, you're right. Yeah,
She thinks she gave him opportunity, and
7 weeks is not enough time though for me to like fully get a crash course on Black Lives Matter and like black issues.
But I think like it's enough time to be like, oh, this really is important to my partner. Let me get involved. Let me go listen to some things. Like, you know, I know when I meet somebody and I like them a lot, whatever their hobby or interest in, like I'm going to show interest in that as well. I'm going to get like supportive, you know, I'm going to do my own research. And that's what she meant by like him just not really, I guess, taking to heart how serious she felt about these kind of issues.
Yeah, I think that, and I agree with you. I think what it was is that he didn't give her the validation that she was wanting to know that, and I don't think he knew how to. I don't think he wasn't willing.
Yeah.
I don't think he knew, like what she wanted.
She wanted a partner who was like down to like rally with her, and he's kind of neutral. And when you're neutral in the eyes of, you know, oppression, you're siding with the oppressor.
I'm gonna be real. White dudes is not seasoned. This is the whole season that we're watching, except for the last guy, right? The other three were, or the other two, or the other guys that were there, they're just not seasoned. Like,
yeah.
Yo, like this is why, like when other ethnic cultures come around, specifically brothers come around, y'all be scared because we give the ladies what they want. In terms of like conversation, feeling them, digging them. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, you know me, and I say that based off of my own experiences. Like if you had a thick bottom white girl come up, like a black dude's gonna appreciate that. Where I've heard white dudes say, "Oh, it's not really for me."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They appreciate other things, right? They appreciate being like, I don't know how else to say it. It's just, I feel like in my experiences, the guys that I've known, like they're a little bit more seasoned. Whether it's black dudes, I've met some, some Latino dudes that's got some flavor with them.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
It comes with having like a rich culture.
Yeah,
and remember, like all of the cultures that you're talking about stem from ancient cultures or older cultures that have legacies and centuries of tradition. Whereas like American culture is it's kind of new.
Yeah, you know? Drink a beer, wear American flag bandana, and let it fly.
And put raisins in your potato salad.
Yeah. Real bland activities. I understand it. Okay, so then the second couple.
Okay,
right, which was
the skater guy.
The skater guy. He longboarded in.
Dude.
I was like, did he do one push to the door and then pick the board up?
And I just got the longboard, so I couldn't decide if I loved it or hated it.
Yeah, if he came down the aisle with it, I would have understood it.
He did go down the aisle with it.
Did he?
Did you not watch it?
I did. I swear to God, I don't remember him doing that.
Literally.
Sometimes though, when I be watching, especially like this season, it's not to fall asleep. It's just I be on my phone.
Yes.
The other ones be having me glued to where I watch it. This one I'm listening to in passing because it's like, it's interesting.
Yeah.
It's interesting for me to keep it on in the background and look up every once in a while, but it's not enough. The other last season,
Same.
Yo,
I'll
you
be
would text me,
honest.
I'll be gone.
Yeah, same. I've had to rewind it. But no, he did it before. He did it into the building, and he literally did it down the aisle.
Yeah, them parts I didn't care about. What I cared about, like when they got to the altar, like
Yeah.
I told you, I queued in when old girl. I looked up when old girl on the last one said that the whole money thing. I was, fuck she talking about, right? I looked up then, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought that this couple, longboard dude and old girl, was gonna make it.
You know what? I thought she was in. I wasn't sure about him, but what was surprising to me was I feel like if they would have maybe been more vulnerable and honest with each other, they would have said yes, because he was surprised to hear her tell him, "I love you." He said that's the first
crazy
time
to me too, yes.
I've ever heard her say that. And, you could tell he was taken back. And she was saying, like, I just need, like, if he says yes, I'll say yes. Or, like, I just need more reassurance that he actually has these feelings for me.
Right.
And it feels like they both didn't get to the space where they actually admitted, like, oh, I really love you. And I feel like if they could have gotten there, maybe they would have made it. I wasn't as shocked with them because they're...
What?
Because, I mean, yes, there was the chemistry there. And then, but remember, that's the hater sister, too.
Right.
And he said
they
in
did
the
a
end...
close family.
He said in the end, he brought that up. Like, I think maybe the dynamics of her sister had something to do with it. He brought that up in the after interview, after the altar. So I was like, there was definitely some things that I thought were... a little bit rocky. The fact that, like, she wanted more PDA from him, more public displays of affection. And, he was working on that. And she told him, like, and she would say in her behind the scene interviews, like, I just need more reassurance that he's there for me. So that's why, even though they seem like a match in heaven as far as, like, personality wise, they weren't having, and I think kind of all of our couples said that, like they didn't get to
That's
those
what I was gonna
deep
get at once we got to the next one. I was like, there's an overall arching theme here.
Yes,
and
they didn't get deep enough, and
so okay, I'm gonna go to the third then, because you're right.
Do you have anything to say on the second?
I do, but I want because I feel like they all share commonalities.
So you want to get to
I'm gonna get to all of them.
Okay.
Virginia's a crazy name. First of all, let's get there. Every time I hear that, I'm like, oh shit, her name is Virginia.
It's such a it's like someone's grandma's name, huh?
Yeah, like I don't even remember all the other white dudes' names like that. I just know them by like what they do. That's how like semi-invested I've been in this one. Like, but anyway, Virginia, that one shocked me.
Yeah. Okay,
right?
You go first. Why?
So my problem with Virginia and him is that I felt like from the get-go, after in the pods, it's like I compare it to being 13 or 12 again on the phone when your mom, asleep and you got it.
Such a crash and you're in that bubble.
You're just so excited. You want to see what this person look like, and you like, oh, I feel like I'm all in. Then they open the door. You're like, oh, he cute, but then life hit.
Yes.
You get your cell phone back.
Yes.
You flying out, and you even on the trip, and everything's still not real.
Yeah.
Just like my guy that backed out when he found out. Oh, we got to talk about that one too. When he found out that a guy that he knew, right?
Yeah.
I'm with him.
Let's save that.
Oh, we'll save it. We'll save it.
We're gonna get into that.
Okay. So I'm like, all right. So then she see his shoe collection. She start judging him.
She started having concern.
Yes, $700 shoes. You live in this spot, it ain't better than mine. You run an athletic program, whatever that means, right? Because, he's just telling you a way. Do you have 20 kids signed up, 30 kids signed up?
Yeah, we know what
How
that
much
means.
money are you really making, right? And then you're a high school coach. Now, I'm going to tell y'all, high school coaches really love to coach high school kids, and they care about them, and they care about the prestige of high school, but they only make between $2,000 and $5,000 a season, depending on what school you at.
Yeah.
When I coached or whatever, we was making like or a teacher. I was making like $1,900 back then in Fresno for a season, just to coach. You know what I mean? And then after that, they still take $700 out in taxes.
Yeah,
so
it ain't no big money.
It ain't no big money that you really doing it for the love.
Yeah.
And the look. But I was like, yo, like I think she kept bringing up the prenup conversation to him.
Yeah.
And which is fair.
Yeah.
But if you don't feel like my man is your equal, then you don't need to be with him. And I'm glad that she said that. She also brought up that somebody gave them money and he didn't tell her about it.
Yes.
I'm not mad at him for that.
But wait, why do you feel like she said, like, why do you feel like she doesn't think he's his equal? Just because of the prenup? Or what made you...
The shoes, the prenup, and then she brought up the money again later. It was like, yo, like how... She don't trust him financially. That's my point. The money thing, she said.
I don't know if she doesn't trust him financially. It's that she wants to protect what she's built as he develops his own financial growth.
I agree to that. That's just a better way of saying it. You expounded on on the way that I couldn't say it. So I agree with you on that one.
Okay.
But either way, she had a problem with who he was currently and like how he earned.
Yes.
Right? And so I think the money thing, I'm not mad at him not telling her, because if his mom said, basically what happened was, she said that they had got some money sent as a wedding present. He never said anything about it.
And who said something to her about it?
It was his mom.
His mama.
Right.
Exactly.
I'm not mad.
It was a gift for the both of them. It was
if
a
we got married.
Gift. Okay, why are you not mad he didn't say anything?
Because we didn't get married yet. I don't feel like you should be entitled to that money.
So vice versa, it's the opposite. Dad lets it slip. Oh yeah, did so and so your fiance tell you about the check? Thea and Theo sent. You're not like.
I would ask her.
Okay,
she never said it. She was being conniving. She said I didn't ask him.
She was giving opportunity to see if he would be forthcoming. Is that conniving?
Yes, I agree with what you're saying, right? But then if he were to come back and say in this tell-all, because we haven't got the tell-all yet.
I know.
And said, yo, I was waiting for us to get married because she gave me this indicator that she was unsure or not. Where would the money go? We don't have a joint account yet. Right? Obviously they don't. And then she's been bringing up prenup conversations or whatever.
Exactly.
I don't
she
know
didn't
where
want
she's
that
at.
little check. She just wanted to see if he was going to be honest
That's a good point.
about it. So
It's
I think that's what it is.
It's a catch-22. You got to say, in that circumstance, in 7 weeks, you got to say I do to me.
Okay. What would you...
I would have did what he did.
You wouldn't have said nothing.
No, because if it was like, let's say if it was like $5,000, I'm not telling you, and then you get the deposit that money, and then say I don't, and then I just gave you $2,500.
It ain't even gonna move that fast, though, man. Something personal checks, take a few business days to process.
We know what you do. I ain't mad at you. Go get the money. I ain't mad at you.
I would have said something.
Okay, there we go.
I absolutely. Like if my aunt or uncle.
Hey, your mom said that you got some money. Where the money at? And then,
wait, no. What I'm saying is, I would have told my spouse, "Hey, my aunt and uncle gave us this check as a wedding gift. Like, do you want to use it on the honeymoon? Do you want to use it to save for whatever? Blah blah blah." I would have been forthcoming.
Would you have given them that said money at that point?
Like, would I have deposited into our joint account? Like,
before you got married?
No, I would have been like, we got this check. Let's go ahead and
that's fair.
Put a little pin in it and let's see what things happen.
Yeah,
however, like her, if I would have found out his mama would have told on him, I wouldn't have said nothing either. I also would have been. I would have been curious, like how.
Would that affect you in saying I do?
That's sneaky. No. Absolutely.
I feel like if he said
okay, let's say.
I'm so glad we're fighting.
Let's say wife. Yeah, you get on my nerves.
I'm glad.
You get on my nerves. Let's say wifey got a bonus from her job.
Before we're married.
No, I'm talking about now.
No, now I'm flipping. This whole room be upside down. That's different.
Exactly.
Yeah,
how is that different? You're withholding.
Because they're not married. You just said my wife.
They're literally about to get married. We're literally entering. We're about to get married. So how am I supposed to know that I can trust you when we are married? If that a week before the wedding, you're already pulling shady stuff with money.
I got you. It happened already between her and I. Now, granted, we had a kid and stuff in the house already before it happened. My uncle Bill and my dad's cousin gave us some money, and the way he was acting that night had me dying.
Okay,
it was a significant amount, but it wasn't enough.
Who they give it to you in front of her?
Yeah. He pulled me aside in the back.
Okay,
and he was like, "Hey, what's up, cuz?" He's like, "I need you to hold on to this," and he slid it in my hand like it was like a dime bag, and he's like, "I need you to hold on to this." Now, it was a significant amount of money.
Yeah,
right. That I wouldn't feel comfortable letting go to a lot of people.
Yeah.
But the way he was acting was like it was like came from the Federal Reserve, right?
Yeah.
Like he's like, hey, you still got that check, right?
Yeah.
It was like an hour later. I said, yeah, man, I ain't lose the check, man.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say what the amount was because I don't want to be petty, right?
Yeah.
Right, it's no one's business. But I was like, yo, it's kind of crazy. You owe me for this amount, right?
Yeah.
I gotta get like, thank you though. I do appreciate him doing that. But I told her after.
What's after?
I found out after the wedding reception, but I found out. I told her what the amount was maybe 3 or 4 days later, and then we did whatever we did. I think I just put it in her account or whatever. My money's her money anyway.
Yeah.
So like we do have a joint account. We have our own separate accounts, but like, and I'll ask her like for certain things or whatever. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I forget to tell her. But like I pay for everything on the weekend.
Yeah, I think that's the hard part. Is like it would be one thing if he knew that she was like maybe financially struggling, and maybe he was withholding that information because he thought she was a gold digger. And this,
I don't think that part is it.
So why wouldn't he tell her?
Commit to me before. I don't look.
Do we know how much the check was? Did they say?
That's where I was about to get at. If the shit was 500, dog, just tell her.
I was gonna say,
but he like, ooh, 11s, I can get some more. but
exactly. Or what are you trying to put 700 aside so you can get a pair of another shoes? Like, it's just
no one's gonna send you 750. They would send you 100, 500, or a G.
I think
at a G, I'm not telling you.
You know what? No, I think it's not even about the money. I think like money aside, like to me, it's just a pattern of behavior. You're withholding, and to me, I believe, you know, I took not a sociology, but a philosophy class, and one of the group discussions we had was if withholding the information, especially information that you believe someone would want to know intentionally, is that the same thing as lying? And we had a whole debate on it. And I personally believe it is. Withholding information that you know it would be useful or someone might want to know or whatever is definitely lying to me. So it's like him withholding that information. It's like, what other things are you going to withhold from me until I prove something to you or you feel it's convenient for you, or you know what I mean? It's just setting up.
Bruh.
There's no way I would have said yes to him after that. Like there's no, it could have been $100.
What if the formula is my people for us?
What do you mean?
Because it's his side of the family that gave that to them for us. If there's no us, that check actually needs to go back.
Okay, so, but still, we could have had that conversation. Hey, I got this check. I want to hold on to it.
Wait. Time out. What do you mean? I'm going to ask you a question. What if you find out he gave the check back after you said no?
I don't care.
Oh,
the relationship is dissolved. Like I said, it's not.
He did the right thing though by giving it back.
Yeah.
It's not for him. But so it's like it's not like he really was like trying to keep it for himself. If he did, we don't know yet.
Yeah, if he gave it back, even though I don't know, it's still sneaky. Like I think at the bottom of the line, it's sneaky.
I agree. I get it. I think that was like a small drop in a large bucket that was already full of water.
I know. I feel like maybe that could have been because she was. What was the other reasoning she said? It was the conservative views growing up. And again, kind of same thing with Sarah.
I skated away from that, yeah.
Yeah, no, that was real. I felt that.
But if that's the case, do not bring up the money thing then. Use that. That one makes more sense.
But that's what I'm saying. I think she was already feeling like she
Small
loved
drop,
him.
large bucket,
Exactly. Great guy, you know, super kind, like seemed in alignment. And, you know, the conservative marrying into the conservative family was definitely alarming to her.
His mom looked like that type of lady too.
She looked like a straight Karen. Yeah. And then like, although I'm like I said, I'm not hating on Karens. Yeah, I'm with them with the autism. Autism moms unite. Karens find me.
There you go. Karens find me. DM
Let's fight the good fight together.
At Juicy J.
Yeah, let's do it together, ladies.
At Hotmail.
International Women's Month. But yeah, no. So I think that like, you know, the idea of marrying into a conservative family, and then his comments and the fact that she said it wasn't even necessarily that they had those conflicting political views, but it was like he didn't want to have those conversations. Right. He was shying away from them. He didn't want to dive in deep, and she was like, same thing with Sarah. Like, there's no depth. Like, you're not trying to get deep and raw and into it. And so how can I marry you in good faith when I don't really understand where you stand on these topics and you don't even really want to open up and explore deeper into them? And so I think so she was already like trying to fight that inner battle. Like, you know, I think she really did love him. But also that conflicting political views. And then when it was like, oh, and now you're withholding like, you know, a gift or information from me. And yeah, it being monetary is significant to the situation because are you being petty because I made you sign a prenup? Like, are you, and again, a pattern of behavior. So I think like if he would have been honest, I feel like maybe she would have said yes.
Let's talk about the elephant in the room based off of what you say.
Okay.
Elephant in the room is these motherfuckers is surface level.
Yeah, that's what we were getting to.
That's what my whole point is. Like, a lot of them is like, yo, like a lot of it is, I didn't get into his religious views. I didn't know how he was with finances. Motherfucker, that's the premise of the show.
Yeah.
Is to take looks out of it and really talk and have a genuine conversation with somebody.
But what were the ladies saying? That's why the ladies didn't make it there, because they said they were trying to get there with these men. And these men weren't meeting
We should have never left the pods.
What do you...
There's no way. Look, because old girl had concerns about Black Lives Matter about that dude from the pods.
But then he went in hot, like the next episode, like really reassuring her, like, and that's why she said his words didn't match his actions, and so she couldn't feel comfortable moving forward.
I don't know what he needs to, but what would he need to do to show you in 7 weeks?
He would need to be like, oh, hey, I saw a rally.
He gotta leave his church.
Not leave the church, but like, hey, I set up a meeting for you to meet with my pastor and ask any questions that you have. Or, you know, like, hey, I actually saw there was a little training or conference like on BLM information, like I'm going to attend. Or I saw a training online, or I watched this YouTube video to get more informed, or like an action.
Don't get married then. You're right. But don't say I do.
That's why she didn't.
No, but I'm saying, like, don't even waste my time and send me to Mexico, because I'm not going to get all that done in 7 weeks.
What do you mean? I think if you really, like I said, like if and not just showing your support and your interest in your partner. I might be crazy in this,
because I realize now people got me questioning myself when I be feeling like, I got Jay in the corner now. We'll keep going.
Why am I punching my way out?
Oh, yeah. I be having you convinced too, and then the next day, like, nah, Carl sound crazy as fuck.
You be gaslighting. No, I mean, he don't be gaslighting me.
I don't know. It's something different.
No,
I be on the other side. Gaslighting is like trying to tell you that something ain't true.
No. He just presents a different perspective, and I sometimes align with it, but then I'm like, but no. And then people come and remind me why I'm right.
Yeah. I'm not mad. Now I'm fucking starting to second guess my shit now. I'm like, man, am I past the times now? Like, goddamn.
That's the intention of like good debate and conversation, right? Is that we're so like, we do stand strong in our convictions and what we believe, but I think we're also open to hearing and entertaining and trying to understand each other's perspectives. So the fact that we both kind of second guess ourselves, I think, is like a testament to us really trying to understand each other and see each other's perspectives, you know?
Absolutely.
But yeah, no. So I just feel like if it was me and I was there and it was like,
I feel like you wouldn't leave the pods.
You know,
I don't think you would leave the pods.
Let me give you a better example.
Okay.
Like, what if like it was like a sport, you know, and like he was like a football coach or something, and I didn't really know anything about football, and he's still like, you know, he's like, oh, I want a girl who really knows football, and I'm like, you know what, like I'm not really into sports, I don't really know anything about football, but like I want to be supportive of you. I'm like old boy told Sarah in the pod, I'm willing to learn, I'm willing to do this, that. And then when I got out of the pod, I like was like, hey, I found this football game for us to go to, or hey, I've been watching this video and I'm understanding these rules and these plays, and like, oh, I signed up for a women's flag football league, I bought us tickets to the local football game. Like, do you see what I mean? Like,
you're right.
I would have made it out of the pod to give opportunity to see if your words align, your actions align with your words. And that's why I think she agreed to make it out after he kind of went in and reassured her.
I'm going to agree to disagree, but you're right.
How? But why are you disagreeing?
Because I feel like you need more than 7 weeks to display that. I'll give you an example. We was riding in the car right now. My mom was like, well, you know, my grandbaby won, but I don't know how she won. Mm-hmm. And like my mom's been to a few tournaments or whatever, especially over the last 4 or 5 weeks. Yeah. Then my wife was like, you know, once like I being around it and playing it and him showing it to me, like once he showed me that, I eventually understood it. Yeah. It wasn't like in that short amount of time. I'm talking 6 months. Yeah. So it's like, yo, where are you at in terms of allowing these men and these women to grow and leaving room for you to grow in your marriage? Is the base things that we have good enough? If they aren't, I shouldn't be leaving the pods. Or I shouldn't even be getting to the altar. Like I need to leave after the Mexico trip or after us leaving or whatever. Don't have it go from me talking with my family, you meeting them, then we get to the altar, little girl, like, did they get married? What happened? You get what I'm saying? Like, don't take it there. Like, don't wait until that very last second. If you got that type of doubts, because if I know you now a little bit, right? Mm-hmm. A little bit more, I would say. Yeah. Like, if your husband came to the altar that day with those types of doubts, you would be like, motherfucker, you better not say I do if you don't know.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the thing is, they didn't know that.
Yeah.
It's like, because that's my whole overall thing is, I felt for Devin because, like, at first I thought, he was bullshit or whatever. But, like, he really be in his feels. And I was like, he don't deserve to, like, take an L like that. It's not like he did anything intentionally bad.
Yeah. And I will say, like, to kind of, unfortunately, give you some grass, to, like, looking back and reflecting on her behavior, like, throughout the morning of getting ready. And, like, her friends are reassuring her that she's making everybody is assuming, you can tell her friends, her parents, his parents, that she's going to say yes.
Right.
And so in the conversation, the tone of the conversation that all of her support system that was getting ready with her is having is in the tone that she's going to say yes. And so it's supportive. He's a great guy. He looks happy. You look happy.
Right.
And she was really quiet. And, she seems like a little bit more of a reserved person, but it's like looking back now, I'm like, oh, she was so quiet because it feels like she knew. Even when the mom came in and was like, I love you and I'm so happy to have you as a part of my family. Like, she was like, I'm trying not to talk because I don't want to cry. But I'm like, if I knew I was re-entering your family, I would be like reassuring you, or there would be more emotion.
Right.
So I feel like she did know going in, but how is it fair for us to say that, like, she, like they all say, you could think one thing and you could get down to the altar and it can completely flip, and they are going back and forth. Like, she did really see great values in him. So I don't think it's fair for us to assume that she, like, we okay?
Yeah, you're good.
I don't think it's fair for us to assume that she, like, went in and was leading him on. I think she was still really trying to figure it out in that last week when they couldn't, and you could see in that uncomfortable conversation where she was like, and even Sarah with Ben, and Ben was like, I'm just tired. It's been a long work week. And, she kept saying, like, is there anything else back to Virginia? Is there anything else you want to say? Is there anything else we need to talk about? And, like, you could feel those women, like, trying to reach these men to get more, and they just weren't there. So it's like, I don't think that either one of them led them on. I think their feelings, and that's why it's so hard, because your feelings say one thing, but then, like, you need to actually listen to, like, the deeper understandings of the values, the belief systems, the alignments, like, for there to actually be sustainability. And that's why these women, I think, are being kind of painted out to be villains, because it's like, well, it seemed like your feelings showed that you loved him and that you wanted him. And it's like, yeah, they did, but they didn't. And good for them, they didn't rely only on their feelings. They actually listened to the things that would make a successful marriage and had to make the hard decision to go against their feelings of love. So that way they wouldn't be in a, ultimately unhappy or unaligned marriage.
I'm with you. I just think that
they knew sooner and they could have, like, given more. They shouldn't have gotten that far.
Yeah.
You feel like they shouldn't have, like, held on to hope?
Spare me.
But the whole point of the process is to try to get there.
No, I know. Look, but see, here's the thing. Even, and that's my last point on this one, because I don't want to get too long-winded.
Okay.
But even then, my man with old girl with the Black Lives Matter, was that Sarah?
Yeah, Sarah and Ben.
He asked, like, oh, can we still be in a relationship? She's like, nah.
Dude!
Come on, fam.
But, I mean, her point, she even laughed a little, but to her point, she was like,
nervous, though. That's the nervous laugh. Like, she's like, guys, I'm fine.
Yeah.
I was like, yo.
And then she broke down.
I was like, she's trying to hold this shit together.
She was right. Like, why, at that point, like, she was like, I did try to see it through. Why hold on to something that isn't going to work? Like, so why continue?
He was willing to grow. I get it.
Yeah.
I
was shocked that she didn't still want to date afterwards.
Yeah, I was like, yo, most of these dudes are saying no to that. You ain't about to embarrass me and do this. I was like, look at him. He's willing to be with you and be embarrassed and go through all this shit. He go read a Dr. Martin Luther King book next week if you allowed him to.
You might.
That's what I'm saying. Like, old school. I don't want to say this because we're around the same age. They just from a different region.
I know, but I know what it's like to date somebody, like, it's like you know, I consider myself like a community activist. There's some things that I'm really strongly convicted in. And I've dated guys and entertained men that were neutral, not even like opposing in one more direction, but just kind of neutral, or just weren't in touch or weren't educated or didn't really care. And it only let our relationship go so deep, because I realized, like, I'm like, oh, I need someone who really deeply feels as strongly convicted as I do on these certain issues. Like, I need that shared interest. I need that shared passion. I need that shared understanding. And and I think that's like, Lex is a great example of that, because even though Lex is a white man, like, you feel his conviction of like how strongly he supports, you know, different people of, different communities of color. And so it's like, I need that like strong conviction from you, or else it doesn't matter if, yes, you know, maybe you'll read a MLK book. Like, it's never going to get there, because it's going to be kind of forced, you know? So I guess maybe in that case.
That's what she thought she was getting right there.
Right. You know, literally. And he wasn't that far extreme. But I will say, maybe you're right, because dang it. Okay. Whoa. All right. I might have to side with you on this one. Like, for real.
Grow with me.
Because of this. Because now that I'm thinking about it, she knew how strongly convicted she felt about those topics. And she knew that she needed somebody who was as deeply convicted as she was.
And she almost gave up in the pods.
And she almost gave up in the pods. And so maybe at that point, maybe you're right. She should have walked away. However, maybe I don't side with you. Because the next day, he did come in there reassuring her that he was willing to learn and this, and that. And then she gave him the time. In those 7 weeks, I know you said it's not long enough, but he didn't do enough to show any kind of action supporting what he said he was willing to learn.
I'm going to hit you with this, and then we're going to move on to the next.
Yeah.
She didn't say nothing about inviting him to any rallies or anything like that he said no
to. That's true. Maybe she could have extended.
She could have gave my man a little bit of grace, a little bit.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
I don't disagree with you either. I don't disagree.
Read of the week.
All right,
I went grocery shopping with my partner, female, around 6:30 in the evening time. That's important. We always go to Costco. It closes at 8:30. Lucky them. Our shit closes at 6 out here.
Yeah.
Then Whole Foods. That closes at 9. She likes to wander the aisles and look at different items, but rarely purchase them. This sounds like you, so this is going to be a fire topic. Today, I needed to go to Best Buy. Shit closes at 8. To pick up a power cord for my gaming computer. Oh, when I read this, I missed that part.
Oh, goodness.
I might side with you.
He was stressed.
Yeah, but what he did, I don't know if you're going to agree with it.
Okay.
I told her we were in a time crunch, but she didn't want to pay attention. During our Costco trip, she kept wandering off to pick up more items, and I didn't notice until the end of our trip. I called her twice and texted that I would be checking out. She didn't respond. I checked out and left the store without her. She called me a few minutes later, asked me where I was. That's what I'd be afraid of. Like, man, you better not call me back right when I leave. I told her to go to checkout and I would meet her out front. 20 minutes later, she's upset that I left her in the store because she only had Apple Pay, no wallet. And they didn't accept that as a payment method. So she couldn't buy the 4 items she had picked out.
Life.
I don't feel the need to apologize because I told her we were on a time crunch and she didn't adhere to that. Now, based on this sounds like two things we need to get off. She's mad that she didn't have her wallet.
Yeah.
He's mad that she's not respecting her time. She's not really mad. She's probably mad at the embarrassment she did of sitting at the register, have those items out there. Costco's a pain in the ass.
And being left. Like, nobody wants to be left, especially if you didn't know you're about to be left.
I personally wouldn't do this, so I don't want you to kill me. Okay? I personally wouldn't do this, but I would understand if this is our normal routine and if we have to do something outside of our routine, like, yo, and I tell you, and you go off and do your own thing, because there's always something to be said. I do this too, where it's like, I got a little bit more time.
Yeah.
Right? You did it today, right? And I wasn't even tripping though.
Yeah.
Right? Because where I live at in conjunction to this place is not really... It's designed perfectly. I can't get mad. Even when you got here, I didn't have everything I needed, so I had to go back down. I'm not going to get mad. And I'm not even faking that. I'm serious, right?
Yeah.
But like this instance, I kind of understand it. If I was bro, I would have been like, look, man, you gonna go to Costco? Cool. I would have probably, because it's a gaming computer, he could have got that shit the next day.
Exactly.
Now, maybe he at work or something like that, go to the gym again. If you want it that bad and you making that sacrifice, either do that or don't ride with her at all.
Yeah, I think like, this sounds like a situation that I could have been in with my kids' father, and he would do some shit like that. He has like left me to go do things and I didn't understand, or even just like when we get out of the car, I'm assuming he's waiting, he's already walked off. I'm like, oh, okay, like, and so I think that like there's a level of like, there's two things: a level of respect of like, hey, making sure that your significant other doesn't feel like you just left or abandoned them or, left them stranded. And then also like respecting each other's time, because I'm always somebody who's pushing time. Right. You know that, like you just said. And so I have been in positions like that where I have gotten left because, or people have had to start without me because, I'm pushing and I'm late. Right. And so I don't take it personal. I've had to understand that's part of like my consequence of someone who loses track of time or just always trying to rush or put too many things close together. I think where he loses me is that, and I know he's on a time crunch, is that like he didn't make sure she was good before he left. And I think that's what it boils down to. Like, hey, I need to make sure you're squared away. Whatever it is, you got a card, you got the money, your cell phone's not gonna die, you got a ride, or like whatever it is. Like before I'm comfortable leaving, even if I'm on this time crunch, I need to actually speak to you. I need to go down the aisles and look for you. I need to say over the intercom, boop, boop, husband, meet me, or wife, meet me on aisle 2. I need to leave. I need to talk to you. Like, I need to make sure that I have enough respect for you, our relationship, especially like as the provider and the protector, we're leaning into that too. Like, you're just gonna leave me, your wife? Yeah. And not make sure that I'm solid, not make sure that I got bread to pay for what I need to pay for, not make sure I'm good? Like, I'm comfortable, I'm safe. What if there was some creepy guy, as someone who's been followed by countless creepy guys throughout my life, what if there was some creepy guy? Well, and I've had to call my mom or my husband or say, like, hey, I'm comfortable. Someone's following me into the parking lot. Someone's following me in the aisle. Someone followed me from the store to the gas station, which happened like 6 months ago. Right. Like, what if there was somebody that, like, I felt some type of way, or I ran into, like, an op? You know what I mean? Like, what if I ran into an op when I was, like, tasting a cookie sample? And I'm like, and I'm like, yo, we gotta go. I need to make sure you have my back. Like, so I think, like, that's where it's like,
That's where I agree with you at. Because, like there's been times even when I've, like...
We gotta divide and conquer sometimes, so I understand
that. But in the evening time, I don't even like my wife going out, like, in our neighborhood in the evening time, right? And I'd be like, yo, like it's cool over here, but there'd be some shit popping off. There's been the instances where like shit like this has happened, what you're talking about, and I've been there, but I just haven't been in sight. Because like in my mind, irrationally, but oh, she got kids. Like, I wouldn't mess with a woman that had kids, a ring on her finger and shit like that. I'm like, oh yeah, dude, these motherfuckers ain't doing that shit. But nah, she be like, nah, they be bold. And so we've been out in front of the taco shops, at one of them. Dude, homeless gentleman, right? Ass hanging out, pants is down, he looks like unkempt. Yeah. And he's following her and my daughter saying like, oh, I think you look pretty. Yeah. And I'm inside the store. When I come out, he walk away. Like, I was like, yeah, bro, like, what you do? Yeah. I don't even want to fight with you because I don't know what you got. You know what I mean? But so it's like, I'm
obviously experiencing some kind of mental health.
Yeah, so it's like, I don't want to fight you. You know what I mean?
But you also need to back up.
Yeah, you got to back the fuck up, right?
My daughter and my wife are a bit uncomfortable, sir.
I will fight you if I have to, but I don't feel like we need to. That's if you jumped on me, though, right? Not right now. I don't think it's necessary. But for that reason, I wouldn't leave my wife alone, like in a store like that by herself, close to the evening time. Yep. Especially right now when he wrote this, right? It's dark when this gentleman submitted this. So it's like...
And exactly. And it's things like that. And that's why I think, I would feel like frustrated when you know, my ex would do things like that, especially like if we were out like in the evening, like, you know, I would tell him like, do you realize every single time we go out, like other men touch me? Like as I'm walking through crowds, men are touching like my hips or my wrist or like my back, or they're just touching me. Like,
right.
you know, like, and I'm like, you know, and it's because you're, you know, 5 feet ahead, or you're, you know, you're not making sure I'm side by side with you, because when I'm side by side with you, they're not. Like when they see you holding my hand and that I'm with you,
try to avoid,
you know, and so it's just like, I think those are the kind of the things. So it's not always like, you know, we're being unreasonable. I think there's just a lack of understanding of why we feel that way.
Ick is a real thing.
Yeah.
Back in the day, what you're talking about, like young me, high school, college me, the things that you're saying, I would think would be smooth. Like ladies like that, somebody that's confident. You know what I mean? Feel like now all that fake bravado shit, that is creepy.
Yeah, no, it is.
It took for me working with women and shit like that for me to be like, oh, I didn't understand like how much this shit is weird. You know what I mean? Like in terms of me like, hey miss, how you doing? Because you hear all the songs like that. You see the videos. You watching, you know, fucking Chris Brown grabbing a girl by the hand and you like, oh, I gotta be smooth like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But being smooth like that in this time right now is like, oh, call the police.
Well, because, you know, it's like as women, we just want to exist in spaces. We just want to work out. We just want to go grocery shopping. We just want to walk to the bar and order a drink, you know, and and there was a time where, you know, there wasn't a lot of power in our voices. And so you couldn't be as vocal about those things happening or the way it made you feel because you were delusional or making it up or being dramatic. But there's strength in numbers. And now that there's like the internet and social media and women can share like, oh, that doesn't just happen to you. Oh, you know, like, oh, it happens to me. Oh, I've been, you know, sexually assaulted in the workspace. I've been, you know, all kinds of things. And you hear all these countless stories and more people are like empowered to share that those things are happening to them, you know?
Yeah.
And then it's kind of like you said, though, like as men also understanding, like it goes both ways. Like, men learning, like, so as women, like, we're like, we just want to exist and we just want to be left alone to do these things. And then that leaves men in the position, they're like, okay, so when is the appropriate time to shoot my shot? When is it? You don't
how to appropriately do it.
Exactly. You don't want me sliding in the DMs, or you don't want us talking to you while you're working out. Like, so when are we allowed to show interest and what is the best approach? You know, and I think as women, we need to figure that out and we need to be communicating that to men as well.
And I guess like the assumption that I would make is, right, and I'm just saying assumption because I might be wrong, is that women will allow that to happen with guys that they like. But it doesn't have to be a physical like either. It could be like, yo, like we've been given time or whatever, like this energy that you're giving me now is acceptable because I like you. Or I like you off of the looks or this interaction or whatever, what you're doing right now is acceptable. And so I think that it was weird for me the first 2 or 3 years that men started asking for permission for things. Yeah. Because I was like, oh, if he's smooth enough, he gonna get it. Versus like now, it's like, it don't matter how smooth you are. Like I may not be in a space with you right now. So like, you know, it's hard. Without asking,
is sexy though, and I think it's attractive.
No, you're right. Okay, I've never heard it like that.
Yeah, it's super sexy.
Like no, but I'm saying like you got to find a way to be sexy and get consent at the same time. That's what this era is. Yes. Like that's. Like once you know, like if I was out here in these streets, right, which I wouldn't be because I'd have a hard time doing this, but I would guesstimate that I'd be like, yo, you cool with us taking it further? Yeah. You know what I mean?
That's a great way.
You cool with us holding hands or something? I feel like this is a special moment for us. And then also acknowledge the no. Yeah. I always acknowledge the no with people when I because I semi will enforce my will on things. But I'll let people know, like, you have an opportunity to song. Yeah. Yeah. Just like I told that dude I fight his ass last week for hitting the ball over my daughter's head. Yeah. I said, bro, here's the deal. You can catch this fight right now or you can hit the gas pedal. He hit the gas pedal. Exactly. Cool. I gave you I gave you consent to dip out.
I always do that too. And you know what? I've had people who, I don't know if they just think I'm ego bluffing or trying to be combative, like call
some of it is
like some of it is what is it, like an ultimatum, I guess? Is that what? And it's like,
it's a decision though.
It is, but you know what, my good friends who really know me, who have like stepped in and have said, No. But she's being serious.
Right.
She's really giving you an opportunity here. She's saying, do you want her to take it to the next level?
Because I'm fine with both.
This is where I'm willing and wanting to go, quite honest. However, I'm going to give you one last opportunity to dip out before you see me turn all the way up.
Yeah.
And they're like, it's not an ultimatum. She's not trying to play games. She's really trying to give you a choice.
I'm about that time, but you may not be.
You may not. And this is one last chance for us to de-escalate. So, I'm like...
And once you give me the okay...
That's it.
I try... Don't call the police.
And had friends say that too. Like, she tried to warn you.
She did.
And now what do you want to say? Now you're the victim?
Yeah.
Now you're the boo-hoo?
Yeah, look, we got consent. Because then when I asked, I'm like, look, we was just two consenting adults fighting. I got the best of them. I tried to tell them. Or if I get my ass whooped, shit, maybe I should have fucked with them.
Exactly. I'm going to take my L. I'm not about to cry and say you assaulted me.
Exactly. So consent, is a good thing. You know what I mean? Overall, man, don't leave your wife, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
I understand why you did it. Leave her at 10 in the morning. She's not going to say that. I'm going to say it, though. Leave her at 10 in the morning where it's broad daylight.
Just check in. Like, actually check in before you dip.
Or leave early. Or or get your shit that's the other thing. We live in an era right now where you can go buy some shit at Best Buy and then it be just order pickup.
Yeah.
My wife is the order pickup queen.
Yeah.
Right? Between that and Amazon boxes coming, you can get a shit. The cord probably would have came the next day on Amazon.
Or just even knowing your person. You're like, I would have been like, hey, why don't we hit a Best Buy first? Let me go in and out. I know exactly what cord I'm going to need. And then let's go to Costco.
You're right.
So, it all boils down to...
Matter of fact, you sit in the car when we go to Best Buy.
Exactly. Wait.
Order pickup again, though.
Yeah.
I'm going to order pickup and then, be ready. You just got to plan ahead.
I think it's all boils down to communication, though, so we can, game plan together. You can't be having this alternative or, this own agenda or this own game plan in your mind. And you're like, okay, we're going to Costco first, but damn, I'm really trying to make it to Best Buy. I hope she's going to hurry up. I know how she is. You got to say that stuff out loud. So then I can be like, you know what, babe? Why don't we go to Best Buy first? Get your cord. We don't have to worry about it. That way we can hit up Costco. You know how I get. I like to wander the aisles.
This new era, I'm telling you, this new era of people, man, they don't be having these conversations, man. I be trying to find ways for them to, have these conversations or whatever, but they just won't.
Yeah.
So
we got to figure it out.
It is what it is at this point, man. I'm gonna let people keep being weird.
No, we got to work on it.
Fun facts.
What do you got for us?
Dolphins can hold their breath underwater for 8 to 10 minutes.
That's a minute. They're mammals.
You know what's crazy? So I always I do animal facts like this because I be loving the. Cecil also brought up last week that his grandmother lived in a world that only she could remember about, right? So I think about the same thing now. This is gonna sound like the ants thing again. I'm not high or drunk. Right, but I be thinking how the whales be sleeping?
Oh my!
It be random shit like that. How the dolphins sleep?
That is true. How do they not float around?
Yeah, or if you need to breathe, do they breathe? They sleep above the surface.
Did you look it up?
I didn't.
Oh, we gotta find that.
But these are random questions I ask and I'll forget later on. Then look, my dark tunnels have been other dark tunnels. I haven't gone on. Once the ants come back, I'll go back to looking them up.
Goodness.
They started marching again. I was watching them. They was outside the house. I was like, these motherfuckers gonna find their way in here.
The ants.
Yeah, the ants is crazy. But yeah, you been to SeaWorld lately?
I haven't been in a minute.
When's the last time?
Let's see.
Are you a Blackfish supporter now too? Because I know you're an activist, and Wells is black, so you definitely go.
No, well, I used to work there back in the day.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Doing what? Yeah, I know. That's why I asked. I gotta ask.
Parking lot pimping.
Oh, you worked the parking structure?
Dude,
that's way better than walking around that sweeper.
I took the money. I could tell you war stories. Oh, that's some of my people's favorite content when I worked at SeaWorld.
Why?
Because I would, shoot behind the scenes of people ignoring us. I would talk about different customers.
Hey, that's true. You get everybody from everywhere.
Yeah, they got that up close parking, and then we park you. We're directing parking, and it's like a dance. There was a choreography of where and how we are supposed to literally place ourselves so that way we can control the flow of traffic. But you always got some John who thinks he knows better, and he's like, I'm gonna go opposite way and try to catch this early parking spot.
For a place that you could be at for 7 hours.
Yeah.
I don't understand that shit.
So it's like, just follow in line. But, you know, it was hard. So I had a lot of people always say that, like, how can you work here and after that Blackfish? But, you know, they've had a lot of legislation where, like, they're moving away. That's why they brought in all of the... So, you know, in that legislation, they couldn't buy any more animals, or they couldn't take on any more animals, and then there can only reproduce endangered animals, and they couldn't do any more like shows of entertainment of like riding, and so that's why everything's educational now, and that's why they bought all
been getting killed though, huh? No one got killed during the show, did they?
At our SeaWorld?
At any SeaWorld.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Trainers. I don't know if anyone in the public did.
That's why though,
trainers
because
during
SeaWorld,
shows.
I wonder if SeaWorld just had like a pot of money that they would just pay people that, like, when the victims that happened.
Did you watch? I've watched a few documentaries, and there's
watched Blackfish, but that was
trainers.
Years ago.
And the thing is that it's because like the sperm of one of the major what are they called? The orcas. His sperm was used to make other babies, and his babies also had incidences with trainers where they took their lives, being aggressive and or taking their life.
That's crazy.
So that's why they had to get away from all of those kind of showy, and it's all educational shows, and they brought all those roller coasters in. So they made like a conscious decision to turn into they're considered now
Atlantis,
an amusement park.
Yes,
so
with fish,
and then an educational, and you know, they do rehab, and that's why they're able to keep their contracts, because they've turned more into like a rehabilitation center. However, the reason why they have so many animals is because they can't re-release those animals. They wouldn't survive in the wild
because they're endangered.
But as those animals die out, and they can only produce animals that need to be populated, you know, it will be interesting to see. But that's why they're bringing in more and more rides. So I think over the years, we'll see less animals at SeaWorld, especially the big ones. Once all the dolphins and the orcas that are there go, we're kind of coming at the end of an era. You know, I'd be interested to see how much longer whatever orcas they have in their possession are going to live for. And then we'll never see orcas again. Like, my grandkids maybe will never see a orca at like an amusement park.
Unless they change the legislation later on.
Yeah, unless, you know, I mean, I would hope we wouldn't go backwards, because them, like, you know, that's really hard to stomach. You know, what they would do to the mothers and then fill them with rocks. That's one of those like facts I try to deeply forget. Yeah. You know, but I mean, I think that like sometimes things can start from a malicious place or a greedy place, or just maybe not have the best. But if moving forward, people are trying to like do repentance and turn it into something positive, then it's worth still giving an opportunity. Now, if we find out again that they're doing some like shady stuff, then it's like, okay.
They probably are. I mean,
they've got a close watch on them. So I think they're just trying to keep it alive. So I don't know.
The world's longest concert was 453 hours.
How many days is that? That's 24 divided by
24 hours in a day. You're looking at maybe 2 weeks.
That's a long time.
Maybe 3 weeks.
I can barely make it through a music festival.
That's a lot of power being used.
Aren't you tired? That's a lot of drugs being used.
That too, man. Like 453 hours is crazy. Let's see. There's 160 hours in a work month, and that's like, that's almost probably about 3 weeks.
That's wild.
Yeah, 2 or 3 weeks.
There's no way. How long would you last into that?
6 hours. There's no way. Like 6
a day, or like the whole time? Could you do 6 hours a day for how many days?
No.
Have you been to music festivals?
Yes. Plus, I'm at the age now.
So what's the longest time you spent at a music festival?
8 hours. Rock the bells.
And then you went back again the next day?
No.
It was just a one day.
I did the one day and I was fucking tired.
Have you ever done like a Coachella or anything?
No,
back-to-back
because
days?
that shit is like on look, that shit to like the young kids look like a dope experience. But by the time Coachella really got popping and I had money to go, I was like, yo, somebody was talking about, you know, it's bad when they start telling you like, oh, there's Coachella lung. Like I said,
Carl said, I'm not risking my life.
Wait a minute. I said, the fuck is that? It's like all the dirt you inhaled the whole weekend and dust. I said, oh, fuck no.
You thought those handkerchiefs were just stylish?
Yeah, I was like, that shit's not cool. Yes, I did.
No, they're in the desert.
Why are we looking like Mad Max characters right now?
That ain't for the
fuck
style.
Is that? That doesn't sound fun. And then like, I had a mini hangover today. Like I had a beer and like 3 drinks. I had a beer and 3 drinks at the golf course yesterday. I was like, man, my head hurt. And then I was like,
that's real.
Yeah, I was like, I can't do like a whole day of drinking all day. That shit just don't sound fun.
Would you rather day drink or night drink?
Day drink.
Can you do both?
Like in a day?
Yeah.
I could.
Okay.
Not anymore.
Yeah, I know. Okay, yeah.
I've done
can you now?
Yes, but what I used to do when I was young and spry, and it's not even about being young actually, what I found out is that if I didn't have kids, I probably could do it.
Because you could rest the next day.
Right, but I was resting even when I didn't have kids. Because like we would go to a pool party. Let's say we fly into Vegas around 12 p.m. Say 11, right? Because we know that 12 is a little late, right? To do something that Friday. Because it take an hour to get out the airport. You got to drop your bags off and shit like that. Yeah. So by that time, we're looking at 1:30ish.
Yeah.
Get there 1:30ish. Then we would, put on our swim trunks, take an Uber over to the pool party. Now, Fridays was cool because it was like, all the people that like either just don't work, Monday through Friday, or all the people that are just flying there early because they gone for the whole weekend. I'm like, oh, we're going to be good. Drink until about 4 or 5, 3 hours, right? Maybe have a table that it depends on who's in attendance and what kind of money we spending. Maybe have a table or not. Hopefully we don't, because then I can just get 3 drinks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because if we got a table, we're finishing everything.
Yeah, and then I get back to the room and I'm sleeping. We get back 6:30, I eat. Yeah. 7, I'm sleeping until about 9:30, 10.
See, in men, you have that luxury because you don't have to do the glam.
Exactly. That's why there were times where we would meet girls like at the pool party and then be like, oh, come out to XS tonight with us, or SLS or whatever, and they don't show up. And, oh, we went to sleep. And I'm like, oh, because y'all got to get dressed.
And makeup and hair.
All that. You know what I mean? Y'all got 1 bathroom in that hotel y'all in, right?
We're like fighting for our lives over this mare.
So I'd be like, you know what? Like I get it from that perspective why we're now older. You know what I mean? Because I didn't understand. Like, why the fuck they ain't come out? I was like, oh, yeah, they went to sleep.
And that's why I don't like day drinking like that. Because I'm going to get tired and I'm going to go to sleep. And I'm like, I'd rather be out and, if I am going to drink and get a little tipsy or get on a good one, like, I'd rather be in the evening in the covenant of the dark.
Right, right.
And I don't know. There's something about the evening. Like, I'm not trying to be faded during the day and then knock out early and then, I don't know. It just doesn't sound fun. And I can't do both. I got to pick one or the other.
Yeah,
I'm not good for both.
Now, ever or just now?
Ever, really.
Okay.
It would be really hard for me, like, to recover and then still go out or to get ready and then I'm like super like on one, I'm like incoherent low key if I'm drinking all day like that.
I can do it because like I said, I could go to the gym and shit. Like it's just the fact of like coming back and being dad is hard from like a weekend like that.
Oh my goodness.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, my body aches and pains and stuff, but I be up like at around 12:30 o'clock is crazy. 12 o'clock. 12:30 at night most of the nights, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just don't be moving though.
Yeah.
There's a difference. And I turn the light out because light irritates me like in terms of like feeling tired and shit. So we keep now my wife is an owl now too, like me. Like I just turn the lights out.
Yeah.
Or like we have lights in our house, but like I'll unscrew some bulbs so that it's not as bright.
We do the same thing. Yeah. My daughter calls me a vampire and we have like
she gonna be the same way when she get older, probably.
I hope so. We never use the main light or it's dimmed. Like, so we have a lot of side lights, And
in my experience, the people that wanted extra bright were extra weird to me.
Yeah.
That was I'm saying like the people, I'm like, that makes sense that you like it bright in here.
Right?
You really worked the full 8 hours, huh? 9 hours that we supposed to be here. I be walking around and shit, get a snack real quick. You be really taking this shit serious all the way to full 9 hours, huh?
14 minutes, it gives me 1 minute to walk back. Is that me?
Yeah, I was like, I don't even know that sound. That's Calypso.
Oh, my bad.
That's all good. But yeah, man, like I just never been that type of person.
It's the baby daddy.
He said you was coming. The average adult makes 35,000 decisions each day.
Jeez. How many?
35,000.
The average adult makes 35,000 decisions or just thoughts?
Decisions each day. According to Harvard Business Review, this number includes conscious decisions about what to eat, where, say, and how to say it. Or if you're going to answer the phone, not even saying that and being funny with you, right?
Yeah,
but it's a decision. If you're going to go to practice, you're going to go to work that day. So you make about 35. What shoes you going to put on, what socks you going to put on, draw, shirt, bra.
That's crazy.
Hat. Like if I'm going to brush my teeth this way. So whoever did this, like to be super conscious about all those decisions. But you're right. You spend the whole day. And I imagine as you get older, we're talking about an average adult.
Oh, you have all those decisions for your kids too. So yeah, I'm deciding what I'm going to eat, what you're going to eat, what I'm going to wear, what you're going to wear, who's getting picked up, who's getting dropped off, in order of what things I'm going to do things. I guess that's wild.
And that's why I say, like, some of the little conversation, like at that point, I forgot to say this, and I want to beat a dead horse on this because we just talked about it.
Yeah.
But, like, my wife's political views aren't important to me, and I know they would probably be important to other people.
Yeah.
But because in my mind, there's so much other real life shit that she's great at that, like, that makes her beautiful to me. That, like, and I'm not saying we have adverse political views. We actually have like values, which means that, like, you know, our house runs smooth.
Yeah.
But like there's so many other things that are important that are my day to day. Like right now, I should be knowing about like what's going on specifically in politics, but it's so fucking draining and we're stuck here for the next 4 years that it's like, I got other decisions in life that I need to be making that, currently affect me now. And when those things come back around that we're, supposed to vote for what's coming up, I will be present for those things.
Yeah. And I think, what could be politics for you or not politics for you, it could be something else that's important to you, so
right.
It's not always going to be, politics that is, I guess, like the determining factor. It's just about like, what are those things that are really important to you that you need to be really important to your partner as well.
Right.
And for me, it's politics. For you, it might be, showing up for your guys' family in a certain way,
right.
And so that's why maybe the politics isn't huge for you, because it's not, you know what I mean? It's not one of those things for you.
It is, but to add to what this is saying about something that I wasn't even, like I was just subconscious about.
Yeah.
Your decision making when you're making these 35,000 decisions needs to be in line with mine.
Yeah, like we're working towards the same common goal, right?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, you might, because you lack in maybe these 25 decisions, that isn't going to overall make it just because that is the best that I have ever found in terms of you covering the spread on the other decision making, the other decisions being made. That's the first time I ever touched this wall and made a point. I saw you look up and I had something written down. This is like me in my bag.
Well, they actually say, I went to the Speaker Institute's training, and they say, like, a lot of times they tell you that when you tell a story that you should look at, like, the people, like the audience, and look in people's eyes. But they actually said you tell a story with your hands, and when you look at your hands, people will follow your hands and they'll follow the story better. So when you looked, but you didn't just point to the wall, you looked at the wall, which indicated me to look, but also so I was following you. But I was following you.
But that shit funny because I was like, if they had that shit on mute, I wouldn't know what the fuck they was saying. They're like, whatever she did, you
banging the wall. Look at here, lady. No, but look at your hands while you do it.
And then, but if I did that, I was like, I told that motherfucker, like, hey, man, you put your hands on me, it's going to be chitty, chitty, bang, bang. And he didn't want that. And you be like, but you be like, damn, I thought they was fighting, but he telling a whole nother story. That's kind of crazy. So, that's why the hands in the audible, you be like, oh, man, he's really passionate. She's really passionate. And when you get to you be in there.
I know. I hate it.
I was like, I ain't going to oppose her today on that one. I ain't going to oppose that shit. She in there.
Emphasizing my point.
That shit funny as hell. Last one. The average person blinks 14 to 17 times per minute. Why you hit 3 of them off real quick? Hey, self-consciousness is a thing, man. I be on that same thing. Hey, because right when I said that, I was Because I put these on here last week. We didn't get a chance to get to them, right?
Okay.
And I was like, all right, I'm at 6 now.
Is that what I was trying to do?
You did, yeah. You was like, that's 3.
I felt it.
Like, that's 3 of them things
but
right
I didn't
there.
know why I was doing it. I'm like, what am I trying to do?
Again, small little things that like we don't think about every day that you be like, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right. Where are we at on time, real quick, man? I said, yeah.
Yeah, me.
I be lying, man.
What time is it?
We're at 1:40. I knew it too, though. I had a feeling that we was
What
going.
did we talk about for so long?
We talked about Love Is Blind.
Okay.
But that was for about 35 minutes because I remember we started at 30 minutes in.
Yeah.
And it was like 1:04 at the time when I looked, and I was like 30 minutes on that conversation. And I started asking myself, I was like, I wonder if we would lose people on that, and I didn't want to just focus on that.
Yeah.
But we just gave other content though. 1:40. I can't get out of it. Back in the day when we first started potting, like I struggled to get to 1:20.
That's crazy.
Even with them 3, right? But Cease would usually lead it like how he kind of led last week, which I ain't got no problem with. So I was like, you know what, man? Like, and now, I can tell, like, it don't matter who's here now. There's certain things that people just gotta get their shit off. The intros be longer and shit. I'm like, fuck, well, this is what the people want. Because 1:40, they be leaving, like, for our OG listeners or the new listeners we got, they are the people that really enjoy us.
Yeah.
They be like, man, I just want more. They be mad when we don't put nothing out.
And what people that they tell me is like they listen to us like in segments, like while they're like doing how I was watching Love Is Blind. I'm like, I'm watching it as I can. Yeah. So they're not always just sitting through the whole thing, but they're like while they're doing the dishes, while they're driving home, like they're picking up,
different spot. That's exactly how I listen too. Yeah. I'm
That's
actually
how I listen
behind.
to us too.
Yeah, I can't do it all at once. I don't have. Only if I go on a trip, even that. Like if I go on a road trip or something, which is few and far between now because they got different sporting events. Yeah, all my shit be in pieces now. So,
yeah, same.
Right. 3 cheers. Go ahead.
I don't have one.
Yep. Okay.
Dang.
I don't have one. 3 cheers to my daughter whenever she goes back and listens to this. Daddy's hard on you for a reason. But not hard on you in a crazy way. But I'm hard on you because whenever you get to listen to this and you conscious enough, and let's say if I wasn't even here anymore and you got a chance to listen to this, like it's one of those things where I just want you to always be great.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like for me, that was a big feat to see her play and did what she did, and I was like, I'm gonna give her a break. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna drive it into the ground. Sometimes you gotta enjoy your wins, man. I'm not gonna be like next step because sometimes we don't get a chance to enjoy some of the things that are fruits of our labor. So as I've grown older, there's certain things I've learned. It's like work for something, enjoy it, then get back to it once you're ready to get back to it. So yeah, take a little break and we good.
Good.
So and then 3 cheers. Also, I give it to him. I ain't gonna do it yet. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait.
Okay.
All right. I don't think I got anything else. My goal is, Jay said that she was gonna, we're still filling in gaps with Lex for the time being. She hit me with an idea that I normally would have said no to, but some of y'all might be in luck, right? Where she was like, yo, we're gonna start having some other, guests come in that's been wanting to come in for some time. I'll give you a list of them. And I was like, and I gave you the thumbs up. Like I wanted to be like, I was like,
I didn't know. I was, we haven't talked about it. All he did was like my message.
I liked it. I was cool with it. That was like me, like, all right, like that wasn't a wink. That was an eye twitch. Like, all right,
I knew it wasn't, but I didn't know if it was a yes or just a acknowledgement of okay, I'll consider what you said because I've had different people. I just had the owner of the San Diego Native brand. The SD Native brand.
You bring him here.
The SDN.
I bought some stuff.
He just opened. Okay, 3 cheers to him. He just opened up a storefront on home. It's called the Hometown Wave. I believe it's over there on El Cajon Boulevard.
Yeah, I fuck with his movement.
And
matter of fact, I saw him. He knows who I am.
Yeah, so we just, me, I be meeting people. Yeah. So we just got acquainted.
I won't say where I ran into him at Mike, but I'll tell you when we get off Mike.
Okay, so we just got acquainted online, actually. Started following him. He started following me, and then he was like, oh, wait, is this your podcast? And I was like, nah, this is my boy's podcast. He's been on this network for like 7 years now, but, I host the You Wasn't Outside pod with him. It's been about 9 months now. And he was like, yeah. He was like, well, can I come through and pod? And I was like, you know what? He's the boss, but, we actually are going to probably need some people to come in over the next few weeks. Like, let me holler at him. And he was like, yeah, cool. Like, no rush. Let me know. And so that made me think, I was like, you know what? I've had some really cool people ask us to pod that are into some really cool things. I know that, not just all artists, but other people. And so that's why I was like, well, let me just shoot you a list of people, their Instagrams, so you can see if it's a good fit. But yeah, so that's one of them. And he wants to come on. And I think it would be great to have him on.
Yeah.
So I'll coordinate. I'll shoot you my list. I'll shoot you their IGs. And then I can help coordinate so, you don't have to take that labor on.
Yeah, I'm not like the and I'm not talking to Jay, I'm talking to y'all. So let's just make sure. I'm not the big interview guy, right? There's pods that do that. I think Hendo Unplugged does that.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of other pods that like do that. And I've met them. You can go to West Coast Radio and shit.
Yeah.
Usually I'm here for the personalities and like who you are as a person and what you bring to your brand and stuff like that. That's why I fuck with SE Nate. He's been around for a minute. My man, I can't think of my man's name, but I bought a shirt from him. And I've seen him at different events that we've gone to over the years.
Yeah.
And so that's why I'm cool with him.
Yeah.
And then there's other people I'll vet. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But we not here smoking weed. You're not out here chilling. We at mom's house right now. It ain't even my house. So it's like I be real selective of who I be having come in here. Even if we was at my house, my kids is there. So it's like if I say no, it's not that I don't fuck with you or nothing like that. That's nothing personal. You know what I mean? More so than it's
just finding a good fit.
Yeah.
And I think it's funny you say that because I explained to him. I'm like, it's really. I was like, Carl has a way that he runs like production, and I really like it. I was like, I've seen when he brings in guests like. And the initial, it's like an introduction. You have your time to get your shit off, introduce yourself, your organization, your brand, whatever. He may ask some questions. I was like, but then it's really cool because then you're just a host with us and you run through our regular programming.
Right.
And I was like, I think that's really fun because it allows an opportunity for us to first get to know our guests more, but then it allows them to just like pod with us.
Yeah, just to see that we cool, and then they like, and that's the thing. That style to our detriment makes people want to come back.
Exactly.
And it's like I ain't got no problem with you coming back, but like you got to be doing something different now.
Yeah.
Not necessarily like, yo, bro, don't be out here just. I got another album to promote.
Yeah.
Hey, man, look. I don't even listen to music like that. You know what I mean? I'll listen to your shit before you come in.
Yeah.
And tell you all it's cool, but I really don't. It's probably because of me getting older, but music's dying in general.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like there's other interesting things than this just being like a music type podcast.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of where I'm like, let's take this little opportunity where
something different.
I fuck with it.
And
for me to kind of plug in some of these cool people that I'm
opening up to it because with Lex taking some time and we just holding the spot for him. After a while, and he and I held it down for a long time, but I know it's interesting to have multiple personalities, coming in and out of here. So I keep that in the forefront of my mind. So
yeah.
All right, let's get the hell up out of here, and I'll hit you with the signature, and we out.